Hello friends, welcome to Notipedia. Today in this video I am going to explain you classes user defined and constructor in just 15 minutes for ISC Computer Science Class 12 students. So let's get started. What is class? Class is a blueprint or a template that describes characteristics, that is data, and behaviors, that is also known as functions. So I hope you remember these things just cause we have studied this in 9th and 10th also. So I think there is no need to explain it again and again. Next is what class contains. Class is also known as prototype. Act as a prototype. It contains two things, that is outer wrapper and internal contents. What is outer wrapper? Outer wrapper is a class name with its curly braces that wraps all the member functions in it. I will give you example. Second is internal contents. Internal contents contains variables, access specifiers, constructors, and member methods. Variables are also of three types, that is instance variable, class variable, and local variable. Access specifier are also of three types, public, private, and protected. Constructors, these are of four types, default constructor, copy constructor, non-parameterized constructor, and parameterized constructor. So let's talk about outer wrapper. Outer wrapper, as I told, it is the class name and with the curly braces in which whole of the program is wrapped. Okay, internal content. First, internal content contains first, that is variable, also known as data members. Three types of variables are there: instance, class, and local. What are instance? Instance are declared in outer wrapper, means outside the member methods. They are not common. It means they have different memories for different objects. Class. Class variables are a static data member. It is common in whole of the program, entire program. It is also declared outside the member methods. But local variables, it is declared within the member methods. For example, void add in braces I. So here I is the local variable. Moving to the next, that is access specifier. There are three types of access specifier, as I told earlier: private, public, and protected. Private, it means when instance variable or member method are declared as private, means they can only used within a class. When they are declared as public, means it can be used inside as well as outside the classes. And when there is no access specifier, it means it is declared public by default. Next is protected. It acts as private, but variables or methods can be used during inheritance. Means these variables or methods can be used in class, but as well as during the inheritance we can also use these variables and methods. Now next is constructors. Constructors are the member methods having the same name as the class name that are used to initialize the instance variables. Constructors are also four types. I will explain you that afterwards. Now member methods. Member methods defined within class, basically used to operate in instance variables. Means member methods are the methods or the functions which are used to operate on instance variable or the particular task that is given to us. Okay, next is object creation. How to create an object? Class name, then object, then new keyword is used, then class name, and then its parameter, means जो parameter आपको पास करना that. Next is nested member method. As we studied earlier, nested loops, in which loops contains inner loops, more same as in member methods it contains methods under methods. So this is an example of nested member methods. As you can see that void twin prime function is calling prime function or a member method. Means it is the nesting of member method prime. It is called inside a member method. Means member method is called inside a member method. This is called nested member methods. Now next is static data members and static member methods. When the data members are declared as static, that means that can be used in entire program. And when member methods are static, means they cannot be a part of any object, and also they cannot call any of the nested non-static member method. Means they are not able to call any of the member method who is non-static. The next is this keyword. When the name of a variable which is a member of a class is same as that of the parameter, then this keyword is used with variable which is a member of class. And if we not use this keyword, then what will happen? Then program will not compile. Means basically it is used to differentiate the instance variable and local variables. So next is method parameters. As you know, what are parameters? Any of the thing that is written inside the braces like this, void add string n. So here string n is the parameter, or distance d1 is the parameter. Okay. Now constructors are of 4 types. First is default, non-parameterized, parameterized, and copy. What is default? When variables have defaults initial values. Means default constructor is a constructor which initialize any of the variables by their default values. For example, if it is int variable, then it will initialize int as 0. If it is string, then it will initialize string as with double quotes and no space between them. Okay. Next is non-parameterized. When constructor has same name but empty braces, means they have no parameters, then it will call as non-parameterized. Parameterized constructor when it contains value by user to initialize. When user is passing the values to the constructor to initialize the instance variables, so it is called parameterized constructor. Last is copy constructor, which have name of constructor in its braces, or you can also call this as nested constructors, in which means if two of the constructor have to share same data, then it will copy it. So we will call it as copy constructor. Now next is difference between constructor and member method. First, constructor have no return data type, but member method uses a return data type. Next, constructor is always public, but member method may be public, private, or protected. We can declare as our requirement. Constructor have same name as the class name, but member methods cannot have the same name. They have different name from the class name. Constructor are automatically overloaded, but member methods needs to be overloaded. Means they are not default overloaded. Okay. So now let's see first the question. So the question is, a class capital has been defined to check whether a sentence had word beginning with a capital letter or not. Some of the member of the class are given below. Its class name will be capital. Data members or instance variable sent. It will use to store a sentence. Stores the frequency of a word beginning with capital letter. Member function or methods are capital, that will be the default constructor. Next, void input that will be used to accept the sentence. Boolean is cap with parameters string w, will check and returns true if word begins with a capital letter, otherwise it will return false. Next, void display. It will display the sentence along with the frequency of the word beginning with a capital letter. Now specify the class capital, giving the details of the constructor, void input, boolean is gap, and void display. Define the main function to create an object and call the function accordingly to enable the task. This was the question of ISC 2018. So let's see is its answer. So import java.io. We are using this package just because we have to accept a sentence. Public class capital. String sent and in frequency. Frequency. Okay. So we have declared constructor here to initialize the value of sent and frequency by the, as we know in the question there was given it will be a default constructor, and I told you earlier that default constructor is a constructor to initialize any of the variable with their default values. So here we initialize by their initialize variables by their default values. So frequency will be 0 and sent will be null. Next is public void input. This was to accept a sentence. So here I have written if you are making program with scanner, then you can use the scanner line, or if you are using buffer reader or import java.io, then you have to use this line. Okay, then system.out.println, enter any sentence. You have to accept a sentence, and I have here add one of the space after the sentence. I will also tell you why I have added this. Now next is boolean is cap with its parameter string w. But before explaining this boolean is cap function, I will explain you void display. So let's assume we have taken this example. Welcome to Notipedia. Okay, here what I have written, for int I is equals to 0 means I is somewhere here like here. Okay, I is at 0th position means this is the 0th position, and I should be smaller than send.length. Means what is the length of this sentence? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20. So the length of this sentence is 20. Okay, and I increment. Now it is written ch is equals to send.caret_i. send.caret_i means सेंटेंस की ith पोजीशन पे जो कैरेक्टर है वो हो जाएगा ch में स्टोर. अब क्या हो रहा है, ch में w स्टोर हो रहा है. देन wd इज इक्वल्स टू wd प्लस ch. अब क्या था, अब एक wd एक स्ट्रिंग है जो एम्पटी थी, उसमें हमने क्या एंटर करवा दिया, w. अब जो नेक्स्ट आएगा वो प्लस हो जाएगा, तो नेक्स्ट हमारा आएगा ई, तो ई, तो धीरे धीरे ऐसे करके वो वेलकम हो जाएगा, पूरा हो जाएगा कि नहीं. जब फिर अपन को ये कब तक करना है, इफ़ सी एच इज इक्वल्स टू स्पेस मीन्स जब यहाँ तक की स्पेलिंग हो जाएगी, वेलकम पूरी एक स्पेलिंग हो जाएगी, तो स्पेस भी उसके साथ में आए, तब हम क्या करेंगे, एक कंडीशन लगाएंगे. इफ़ इस कैप डब्ल्यू डी इज इक्वल्स टू मीन्स अब हम ये क्या है, ये जो डब्ल्यू डी है ये हम पैरामीटर कहाँ भेज रहे हैं, ये जो पैरामीटर्स हैं हम भेज रहे हैं बूलियन वाली फंक्शन को. अब ये क्या करेगा, डब्ल्यू को काय की वैल्यू मिली, डब्ल्यू को मिली डब्ल्यू डी की वैल्यू. डब्ल्यू डी में क्या था, डब्ल्यू में था वेलकम था, वेलकम था. ये अब क्या चेक करेगा, कैरेक्टर. अब हमने इसको कैरेक्टर सी इज इक्वल्स टू डब्ल्यू डॉट कैरेट 0. अब इसकी जो इंडेक्स है वो क्या होएगा, दिस विल बी 0 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. Its index will be from 0 to 6. So at 0th position it will check is the character that is in 0th position is uppercase or not. If it will be true, then it will return true, otherwise it will return false. Okay, so if it returns true, then f plus plus f increment means frequency increment. Okay, and we have to make the value of wd null again and again, just cause otherwise it will store the word after word, because we have to extract each and every word from the sentence. Like this, we have 3 words in the sentence, so we have to separate these words. If its work is over, then we have to clear the value of wd as null, and then it will store the after or the other word and then other. Okay, now system.out.println frequency प्लस f, अब ये फ्रीक्वेंसी जो है प्रिंट करवा देगा. नाउ नेक्स्ट इज पब्लिक. अब हमारा क्या यहाँ पे मेन फंक्शन है, दैट इज पब्लिक स्टैटिक वॉइड मेन स्ट्रिंग आर्क्स थ्रोज आई एक्सेप्शन कैपिटल. अब हम यहाँ पे कैपिटल ऑब्जेक्ट बना रहे हैं, जैसे मैंने आपको ऑब्जेक्ट बनाना पहले बताया था. ऑब्जेक्ट बना रहे हैं. अभी क्या है, ऑब्जेक्ट कॉल करेगा ऑब्जेक्ट इनपुट. फर्स्ट इनपुट करेगा मीन्स पहले एक्सेप्ट करवाएगा सेंटेंस को, ये जो हमने एक्सेप्ट किया था, और फिर नेक्स्ट क्या करेगा, उस सेंटेंस को ऑब्जेक्ट डॉट डिस्प्ले में भेजेगा. डिस्प्ले से बूलियन वाला फंक्शन कॉल होएगा, एंड देन पूरा ऑपरेशन जो है वो कंप्लीट हो जाएगा. होप यू फाइंड दिस वीडियो हेल्पफुल, एंड इफ सो then please do subscribe my channel, like and share my video, and also press the bell icon to get the notification of my all new videos. Thank you.